Welcome back, Mzansi, your Feel Good Breakfast show. And as promised, the weekend energy is here, especially if you're a sport fan, because there's a lot to look forward to this weekend, especially in the world of ruggers. And we've got a blockbuster clash at Loftus, which sees Vincent Tshituka make his Springbok Test debut, as well as Jesse Kriel lead the Springboks for the first time as captain. And along with returning stars and big milestones looming, the Boks are primed for a fierce Italian encounter this weekend. So, who other than one of the big guns coming through to talk about it, Adrian Endley, all the way from Good Up FM Sport, joining us to unpack the action. Adrian, big high five. How we doing, bro?
Oh, amazing, man. Oh, it's a Friday. It's like, it's a Bok Friday as well.
And I see you've got the gear underneath.
I would show it off, but it's very cold.
It's early and it's cold, I understand.
I am prioritizing heat right now. So.
Let's dive into a lot of cool stuff to look forward to this weekend. And I think South Africans are proud, excited. Firstly, our new captain, Jesse Kriel. What do you make about his leadership in the Springbok squad? Obviously ahead of Siya Kolisi are not being present for this one.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to fill in on those shoes? Big shoes to fill, yeah?
Yeah, no, definitely big shoes to fill. It's actually so interesting. I was at a press conference when they were here for the Barbarians, and Rassie was asked about, is there a plan for the captaincy? Obviously, Siya's getting a bit into his twilight years. What's the plan? He said, no, look, we have several players we have identified who can definitely take over that role. And he mentioned Jesse Kriel. And it was very interesting that obviously Siya got injured very last minute, then Jesse to step in. So this is something that they've been talking about and planning for a while. They definitely see leadership qualities. I mean, Rassie said, look, he's not the youngest, but he is probably the fittest player they have in the team.
Man, yeah.
He's the most disciplined. He can play what you want. If you want him to be attacking, if you want him to be defensive, he can lead from the front. Yeah, so I think he's just been like earmarked for a while to be captain.
That experience is incredible. What are the names that were highlighted there by any chance, so we can look forward to it?
So he mentioned, look, Eben's obviously the vice at the moment, but he also mentioned someone like Damian Dialendi is someone they're looking at as well to potentially be captain one day. Yeah, I think those was Jesse and Damian who were sort of.
And speaking of Damian joining Faf de Klerk, both returning from injury.
Oh, yes.
So we've got an incredible backline to look forward to. I mean, I look at some of the names, some of the youngsters mixed with their experience. How do you choose that final backline in a squad like this, where we have Apela Fasi, we've got Damian Dialendi, we've got Jesse Kriel, we've got incredible options all around. We're spoiled for choice.
No, literally. It's a wonderful problem to have. And I thought that's why I thought we'd see a lot more youngsters coming in for the Barbarians match. But Rassie obviously went with a very experienced backline, which, I mean, isn't a bad thing. We do have a lot of youngsters that are sort of waiting for the opportunity to come. And I do think we'll definitely see them up against Italy in the following test, or Georgia, you know, two teams which, I mean, no disrespect to them, but they aren't necessarily really challenging the Springboks. Well, we definitely will see a few more youngsters coming into the mix.
And you could utilize this for experience for these youngsters, but again, you don't want to ruin the brand image and you want to make a statement. A statement is being made here when we talk about our debutant, Vincent Tshituka. Man, this guy has been all the talk, all the hype. Played from the Sharks, right? So obviously he's been amongst some of South Africa's greats. And I'm sure that's been somewhat of a stamp of approval, having played in that setup, going to the Barbarians, having a great lead up there as well. And now it looks like this man's path is set. How you feel for this debut of Vincent, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. I mean, obviously he had that opportunity against the Barbars. And I mean, there's no real pressure there. But he played amazingly. I mean, he scored 2 tries. He was bossing it. So I think it's just testament to how well he played that he's getting this nod now for an actual test debut. I mean, his first full Springbok debut. He has been playing amazingly. He played for the Sharks really well throughout the URC. And that's what definitely caught the eye of Rassie and all the coaches at the Springboks. And I think very well deserved. Also another blessing in disguise, kind of, because obviously Pieter-Steph du Toit injured at the moment. He'd be the natural one to fill that number 7. But because they don't have him available, they were able to experiment with new players and sort of find this diamond in the rough in Vincent now.
And maybe it's such a great time to do it as well. We speak about the new captaincy. We speak about Damian Willems, Faf returning as well. So it looks like what you would have expected is this more inexperienced squad coming through for these games. You mentioned it's not somewhat of a challenge, but listen, Italy gave us a bit of a challenge a few years back, so we can't take these games for granted. Do you think the likes of a Faf and Damian Dialendi and everybody else will be making that front line? Do you think it's going to be a powerful, experienced squad to start, and then maybe bring the youngsters in as substitutes later? What's your intention here?
That could definitely be the case.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the Springboks don't underestimate any team, and we've been hearing throughout the week, they've been praising Italy, saying, look, they are tough. They're a tough team. I mean, their scrum is one of the best in the world. They have a 93% success rate with their scrum. So the scrum coach, Dan Himan, he said that's what we're focusing on. We know it's going to be tough. It's going to be physical. And they are taking this very seriously. So that's why they started such a strong team. They're like, this isn't a friendly for us.
Yeah.
We're going to come out blazing because we know how much damage they can do. But I do think, given how the game goes, we might see some more people coming in. You know, the bomb squad might come in a bit later in the second half of the game.
Impact, yeah. Oh, it's so much that we can look forward to. Final results, what are you thinking the score might be? Let's have fun with it.
I don't want to be too disrespectful here, but I'm seeing a lot of tries for the Springboks.
I think so too.
35, 40s maybe. I do think Italy might score one, so I'm thinking like 42-7 maybe.
Yeah, I might agree with you there. I'm going to go with like a 35-9, and I think you might be right. There might even be more tries happening, but that's what it's about this weekend. We've got Adrian here to give us all the hype ahead of the clash with Italy, and it's going to be a goodie. We'll be sure to talk about it next week and bring you all the action, but don't miss out on it. Add it to your list of all the good stuff. And speaking of, with game day, we need some snacks. Carissa, what you got for us?